Have you ever felt completely alone? Somewhere so isolated that every shadow seems alive and every sound sets your heart racing? I'm about to tell you a true story that will make you feel that fear. I've been a security guard for 6 years, trained and experienced, confident I could handle anything. But one stormy night at an empty government building in the middle of nowhere taught me that fear can come in unexpected ways, and that survival sometimes depends on quick thinking and a bit of luck. What you're about to read isn't fiction. It's every heartbeat, every shadow, and every decision that kept me alive. Stay alert, lean in, and experience what it's like to be trapped alone with something or someone you weren't ready for. I've been a security guard for 6 years. 6 years of long nights, empty halls, and endless CCTV screens, yet I had always believed that experience could protect me from anything. I had seen theft, vandalism, even violent outbursts. I had handled alarm activations in freezing winters and blistering heat, but nothing prepared me for what happened at a desolate government building one stormy Saturday night. The building was massive, 6 stories high, surrounded by a parking lot so large it seemed like an empty ocean of asphalt. Beyond the perimeter fence, the forest stretched for miles in every direction. No houses, no streetlights, no signs of civilization. Only darkness, trees swaying in the wind, and the occasional flash of lightning that made the sky momentarily white. Its isolation was unsettling, but that was part of the contract. The company wanted the assignment, and I was assigned the overnight weekend shift. That meant I would be alone, armed, and responsible for monitoring every inch of the building in pitch black conditions. The storm started early that evening. Rain hammered the roof, slamming against the windows with a rhythm that was almost deafening. The wind tore at the metal fence, rattling the gates and whipping debris across the empty lot. I had been in plenty of storms, but there was something different about this one. Something that felt alive, as if the building itself had grown tense, waiting for something to happen. I was in the camera control room on the top floor. The lights were off, leaving the screens glow as the only source of illumination. The room overlooked the back parking lot through a large window, giving me a vantage point to see the storm's full force. 3 CCTV monitors displayed feeds from the hallways, stairwells, and exterior cameras. I tried to pass the long hours with a movie on my phone, my Game Boy beside me, but the storm made it impossible to fully relax. Every gust of wind, every distant rumble of thunder drew my attention back to the window, to the blackness outside. Then I saw it. A flash of lightning lit up the area beyond the fence, and for a split second, I caught a glimpse of movement, a figure darting between the trees 20 feet away. I froze, heart hammering. Another flash of lightning illuminated the lot again, but it was gone. My mind raced, trying to rationalize it. Fatigue, shadows, a trick of the storm. I told myself that over and over. I got up to stretch and grab an energy drink. The vending machine's hum was reassuring, almost normal in the middle of the storm. But as I returned to my post, I noticed that one of the outdoor camera feeds had gone offline. I looked out the window. The camera that should have been mounted to the post over the back lot swung violently in the wind. I assumed the storm had knocked it loose, but a creeping unease started in my chest. Then the alert came. Someone was accessing the keypad on the back of the building. Someone had the code. Not an employee, not another guard. My pulse spiked. I reached for my phone. Dead, no service. The desk phone? Dead too. The storm had taken all means of communication with it. I moved toward the service stairwell, hoping to find a signal. My shoes echoed against the concrete floor. The air smelled of wet metal and rain blowing in through a broken vent. And then A door somewhere below opened. Heavy footsteps began ascending the stairs. My first instinct was to draw my gun, but my training and fear collided. This was not a controlled situation. This was survival. I turned and ran back up to the 6th floor. Near the top, a ladder led to a roof hatch. I climbed it quickly, my hands slick with sweat, and hid in the shadows. My gun accidentally clanged against the railing. Silence. Then footsteps. They ran past, distracted by the door I had slammed. I leapt 10 feet down, landing with a grunt. Pain shot up my leg, but adrenaline overrode it. I bolted, floor by floor, staying one step ahead of the intruder. The building's acoustics turned every step into a warning. Every shadow seemed alive. I could hear the intruders breathing in my mind, even if it wasn't real. I reached the lobby, hearing a crash and a cry of pain. The intruder had fallen. I didn't wait. I ran to my truck, drove off, and finally found a signal to call the police. 15 minutes later, they arrived. I didn't stop driving until I reached the main road. Rain plastered my hair to my forehead. My clothes were soaked, and my hands were trembling so badly I had to grip the steering wheel like my life depended on it, because it did. Every shadow along the side of the road, every flicker of lightning illuminating a distant tree, made my pulse spike. I kept glancing in the rearview mirror, half expecting to see a black figure emerging from the woods, chasing me, relentless and silent. Finally, I found a signal and dialed the police. 15 minutes felt like an eternity. My chest burned from running, and my mind spun with adrenaline and disbelief. When the sirens finally cut through the storm, I felt relief, but it was mixed with a lingering fear that hadn't left me yet. The officers arrived and immediately began sweeping the area, the building, the parking lot, the surrounding woods. They checked every corner, called out into the wind, and searched with flashlights cutting through the rain. But there was nothing. No sign of the intruder. Only the chaos left behind. A broken camera, a damp floor, and my frayed nerves. Later, they found the handgun, lying where the intruder had fallen, fully loaded, unregistered. It was heavy, dangerous, a silent testament to how close I had been to disaster. But the intruder themselves, gone. It was as if they had melted into the storm, leaving nothing but the echo of their presence. Even after that, the fear didn't leave me. Sleep became impossible. Every noise in my apartment, the creak of the floorboards, the hum of the refrigerator, the whistle of the wind sent me bolting upright, heart racing. I dreamed about the stairwell, the echo of footsteps growing louder, the flash of lightning revealing a shadow in black. In my dreams, I never outran them. I always tripped, always fell, always woke up drenched in sweat, convinced the figure was still there. I replayed the events over and over in my mind, dissecting every decision. Could I have run differently? Could I have trapped them? Should I have stayed hidden? The questions consumed me, leaving little room for peace. Even my waking hours were filled with hyper-awareness. I checked every lock at home 3 times, made sure my vehicle was secure, and slept lightly, hand near my service weapon. Returning to the building for work in the following weeks was worse. During the day, the place seemed normal again, just a big, empty government building. But I couldn't shake the memory of the stairs, the shadows, the wind rattling the broken camera, or the figure darting across the lot. Every hallway felt like a potential trap. Every corner might hide someone watching, waiting. I began documenting the details obsessively. The timing of lightning flashes, the movement patterns I noticed on cameras, even the way the wind shifted that night. It was a compulsive effort to regain a sense of control over something that had made me utterly powerless. Weeks turned into months. I stopped taking weekend overnight shifts. I avoided working alone in isolated buildings. My perception of security had changed completely. Experience and training were no longer guarantees. Isolation was dangerous, and the unexpected could arrive silently, prepared, and deadly. But survival had taught me something. It taught me that fear isn't weakness, it's information. It is your mind telling you where danger might be, guiding your instincts, helping you make choices when seconds count. That night, my instincts, my split-second thinking, and yes luck were the only things that kept me alive. I never found out who the intruder was, or why they chose that building, or how they obtained the code. Police never found a suspect. The handgun remained evidence, a chilling reminder that someone had been ready to inflict serious harm. And every time a storm rolls in, I can't help but remember the wind, the rain, the flashes of lightning, the echoing footsteps in the dark stairwell. I can still feel the adrenaline, the pounding of my heart, and the creeping terror of knowing someone was inside that building with me, watching, waiting, ready to strike. That night changed me forever. It showed me the fragility of perceived safety, the danger of isolation, and the razor-thin line between routine and survival. I survived, but the fear never fully leaves. And sometimes, in the quiet moments, I still see that shadow in the trees, just beyond the fence. And I remember that luck, instinct, and quick thinking were all that kept me from becoming another statistic. Even now, I tell the story not to scare for the sake of it, but to remind anyone who works alone, in isolated places, or at night, vigilance matters. Trust your instincts, respect the darkness, and never underestimate what can happen when you are truly alone with a threat you cannot see, but can feel.